Hey Embers, a quick note before we start. This is the finale episode of The Forgotten City, however, it was far too long to have as a one straight video. If I'd have kept it as one video, it would have been an hour and a half, and I thought that would be too long for you guys. So what I'm going to do is split this up into two parts. The first part, which you are watching now, will be out at the earlier time of 2 p.m. And the second part will be out later today at my usual time of 5 p.m. So this is technically part 11, part 1. The similar thing happened with my fishbowl playthrough, and later on today you'll see part 11, part 2 and the finale. So I hope that's okay. I had to split them up. Hopefully this is more manageable for you guys. On with the episode. Hey Embers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 11 and potentially the finale of my The Forgotten City playthrough. So we are currently just waiting for the election for Galerius to be elected. So let's go ahead and check through the rest of our quests, because I don't really know if there's anything else to do. So point of origin, I've travelled thousands of years into the past. I'll need to find a way back to my original timeline somehow. Create a time paradox. According to Sentius, I'll be flung back to my own time if I can create a paradox. I'll need to change history in a way that makes my being in the past impossible. For example, Sentius says if I prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, then he'll never create the portal and it'll be impossible for me to be in the past. Paradox. Then we have the golden rule. Figure out who is most likely to break the golden rule and inform Sentius. So at the moment it was Malleolus. Malleolus broke the golden rule at the previous election. Tell Sentius you suspect Galerius, Rufius, Virgil. I mean, Sentius himself is not a very nice man, is he? Because he's got his daughter locked up in the cistern. Don't forget that. We do know that, but we can tell him about everything. I don't know if I want to confront him about his abduction of Scintilla, however. Then we have a Herculean task. Lucretius says I might be able to confront and overpower the gods of the underworld, but first I'll need to restore all 4 missing plaques. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm waiting for Galerius to be elected so I can get the Greek plaque. And it says to ask Georgius, which I did. And then finally, a virtuous man. Figure out how to get Galerius elected as magistrate. So these are the 2 that I'm working on now. But I don't know if I can do anything until the election happens. So unfortunately, I am so sorry, but my recording somehow got corrupted. And all the autosaves lead back to this moment. So we have lost a little bit of footage. So where I last left you, we were waiting for Galerius to be elected magistrate. I found out that I could go to the priestess and speak to the priestess and get her to hold the election early after a lot of time of me just waiting about. So the election started, and I'm really sorry that you're not able to see this. And we did get Galerius elected magistrate. So what he's doing now is freeing Dooley from his cell. Obviously, the Greek plaque is in the cell, so we need to go into there. Now, Dooley is more than likely going to break the golden rule when he was released. So we need to get in there, grab the plaque, and then head back to the shrine of Proserpina. But unfortunately, you have missed a little portion, not a lot. All you have missed is Galerius being elected for magistrate, and now he's about to release Dooley, as I say. So I'm really sorry about that.
Speak with you soon, Dooley.
But Dooley is just being released now. So let's go ahead and grab the Greek plaque. We also have the letter in his cell that we already saw. But we now have all of the plaques.
Fortune smile on you, sister.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Dooley.
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer?
We've met before, Dooley.
Oh, sorry. I don't remember things so good. But thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy.
You're welcome.
You can have my shiny plaque if you want, and maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would, but then he died. But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious.
That scintilla. I did.
What was in there? Was it gold and pearls and shiny things? Do you think you could share some with me?
No, but I learnt some very important things in there, and I think they might help us even more.
I'm confused. Hannibal said it was a precious secret. It's not a treasure.
It is precious, just not in the way we thought.
Oh, all right. I trust you. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure? Maybe it's...
So this is where Dooley's going to break the golden rule, because he's going to steal. So we need to get the heck out of Dodge.
Glad Galerius won. He deserved it.
Fortunately, the golden rule is about to be broken, yes.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
So we're going to beat him to the temple, I think. Which is not good. Hopefully we don't get hit by anybody. Come on, love. Come on, love. Up you get. But Dooley unfortunately broke the golden rule there, which proves that, as horrible as it is, he was better locked up. At least in this circumstance. So now what we're going to do is put the plaques on the obelisk. And that's about where I got to before the game unfortunately crashed. So let's hope that that doesn't happen again. So what we're going to do is we're going to exhaust this dialogue with Galerius again. Obviously we've seen all of this before.
Yulia? Poor bird. Alright, let me see. What? I'll go.
We need to get up to the obelisk. So now we are going to put the plaques on the obelisk. And this is where I got up to, this door opening. Now, of course, I have played this game before, so I do know what's about to happen, but I don't remember all of it. So this is the Roman portion, so we say Pluto, Father of Riches, grant me an audience. Then this looks Greek. So we will say Hades, Lord of the Many, or Lord of Many, grant me an audience. Next we have the Egyptian part, and I think this is absolutely beautiful. I really, really do think that the way this game is done is incredible. So now we say Osiris, Lord of Silence, grant me an audience. And finally, we're getting to the last part. Nergal, the Fierce One, grant me an audience. Oh, bit bright there. And now this looks modern. It's not futuristic. Definitely futuristic. So the game takes quite a sharp turn here. I have seen this before, like I said, but I can't remember everything. And I do know that this confrontation can go very badly. So I may need to concentrate a little bit. Assuming that is Proserpina over there. And this is the god of the underworld.
Here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, You carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
What's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
You're a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
This is so tense. May I see your true form?
No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Who is the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long.
Okay, so we cannot tell him that we've been hearing Proserpina. Who is that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
What is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What was the wager you made?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
3,000 years. Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
So the gods in this game are aliens from another planet. I suppose gods are alien. Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
That is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
So we are aiming for him to stop the golden rule, essentially. So our decisions here are very important. I don't remember the right answer for everything, but I'm going to try my best. That principle is not as easy to apply as it sounds.
For you, perhaps.
I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
So we have suicide, which I personally don't consider a sin, debt bondage, experiments on the golden statues, or abduction. Let's say abduction.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
Fair enough.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Experiments on the golden statues.
The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want to be experimented upon if she was gilded.
The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine.
That seems like an extremely literal interpretation of the rule. Yeah, considering that they are essentially people.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
If our language is full of ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No, of course not. Never mind.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
It's no wonder people say the gods are cruel. This just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human. Oh, it's a little bit direct, but it's right.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a tyrant. Oh, I don't want to insult him, but I am right.
I should strike you down for that.
And if you did, you'd be proving my point.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's talk about something else.
Very well.
That's all the questions I had.
Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
I'm from the future.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
I apologise for that bang if you heard it. I was sorting out the rabbit who decided to bite the carpet. So we cannot tell him Proserpina brought us here. I was hoping you could tell me, because we obviously didn't come here on our own.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpina has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Shouldn't you know this, as the god of the underworld?
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
What can we say here? I'd like you to put an end to the golden rule. I just want to get out of here. I'm here to kill you. Never mind, I'll be going now. No. I'd like you to put an end to the golden rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
I don't want to mess this up. If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you. Do not say that. How can you expect us to live without sin if you cannot do it yourself? The golden rule is corrupting this city and ensuring you'll never win the wager. Enough talk, I'm going to end this. The golden rule is corrupting this city and ensuring you'll never win the wager. I mean, it is, yeah.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up.
Rufius has become so paranoid that he's jumping at shadows like Virgil's sexuality. Malleolus has trapped people in debt bondage by convincing them that rebelling would break your law. Actually, I can't think of any examples. So it would be one of these two. I would say... Oh, I don't know, they're both. I don't think he would consider that an grievous sin, trapping people in debt bondage, just judging by what we've said before. But this, obviously, sexuality is... this is obviously not the nicest topic, but sexuality has been considered a sin based on different things. However, it is my personal opinion and the opinion of others that it, of course, isn't. So that's the one that I think would sort of skirt the line. So I'm going to say that Rufius has become so paranoid that he's jumping at shadows, like Virgil's sexuality.
He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one.
Oh, should we say both? Okay, should we say both? I don't know. Malleolus has trapped people in debt bondage by convincing them that rebelling would break your law.
His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day.
That's all the examples I can think of.
Pathetic. You will need to do a lot better than that.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't know what to do. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
Didn't you abduct Proserpina and imprison her here? Don't say that. Do not say that. You've trapped people in this city against their will. You've given terrible punishments to hundreds of people, some for minor sins and some who committed no sins at all. Yes, I think that's the best option here.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
So, where I'm from, collective punishment is considered one of the most egregious crimes there is. Don't know if we should say that. If our positions were reversed, you wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of other people. Yes, I think that's the one. Not to get into it too much, of course, because obviously I'm not going to do that. But that statement there is my problem with original sin. Not that we're going to get into that. If our positions were reversed, you wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of other people.
Ah, but I'm a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
No, but I don't think it's fair. No.
Of course not. Because that would be absurd. Just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
I say I have done this before, but I can't remember the right responses. So we have, fair point, your kind and mine can't be so different given that you're in love with one of us. He's technically not, no. What makes your kind superior to mine? I think that's the best answer, or question.
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine.
Why does wisdom and technology make you superior?
Because that is the source of our power over you.
So, you think you're not obligated to treat us fairly because you're more powerful than us? Or obliged, sorry. So you think you're not obliged to treat us fairly because you're more powerful than us?
You could say that.
What was it the Roman Stoics said? Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you.
My kin have no superiors.
But didn't you say Jupiter was your leader? There's a hierarchy within your kin. Well, that sounds arrogant. Perhaps you're not as different from humans as you think. No, that's the right one. But didn't you say Jupiter was your leader? There's a hierarchy within your kin.
That is true. Go on.
So, are you treating humans the way you would wish Jupiter to treat you?
Make your point, mortal.
I'm saying if you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to? Or I'm saying you're an arrogant, immoral hypocrite. Don't let me say that. I'm saying if you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to?
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
It's the truth. You've committed atrocities and you need to own up to it. You're not a monster. You're a human and you made a mistake. I mean, he's not a human. But telling him to own up to it's not good either. I don't know what to do here. Do we try and appeal to his better nature, considering he's in human form? Let's go for it. This could be the wrong answer. I don't know. You're not a monster. You're a human and you made a mistake.
Wait, what? What are you saying?
Humans make mistakes. It's in our nature, or all humans have a tendency towards sin. We all do it sooner or later. No. Let's go for the top one. Humans make mistakes. It's in our nature.
You have spoken eloquently. And yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed from the beginning. But that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that?
Perhaps he made a mistake too. Perhaps he wanted you to abandon the wager so Proserpina would be free from you. That's probably the truth, but he doesn't want to hear that. Perhaps he felt threatened by you and didn't want a potential challenger in Elysium. I don't think that's our place to say that. Perhaps he left you behind because even your own kin didn't want you. No. Let's just... Oh, they're all quite confrontational. Except, perhaps he made a mistake too, but then is he going to say gods can't make mistakes? Oh, this is so hard. Oh, it's so tense. Perhaps he made a mistake too.
A mistake? But he is the best and greatest of us.
You're no better than us. You're a monster on a power trip. Don't bloody say that. Perhaps when you took on human form, you took on some human foibles as well.
Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot deny it any longer. I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you.
So sorry for the abrupt ending there, but this is where we are going to leave The Forgotten City Part 11, Part 1. So please, please, please come back at 5 p.m. to watch Part 2. It is absolutely amazing. I love the ending of this game, one of the endings. So please come back at 5 p.m. for Part 2. Again, I thought this was the best way. So until 5 p.m, bye Embers.